Hello, everyone, and welcome. This is Baba Yooba. Very excited to be on your screen again today as we take a look at our series on understanding spirituality, irrespective of the happening in our world. We must choose to live or lead a better life, at least the one that is monumental, and we are able to hand over to our children as a good example. Remember, I always say that as African spiritualists, we do not wish to live a supernatural life. We simply want to study how humans or being human can be super. And in being super as human being, we can spread the love one to another, irrespective of our perspective towards life, because there's only one thing I owe you as an obligation. It is to be at your service. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni oríṣà, as the one who has been picked out by your own divine creature. That's the reason why whenever we see ourselves, we bow in honor to our divinity. So I bow to your divine nature today. Today, before we start, káfí bàfálára, káfí fàjèrò, káfí fọ̀rọ̀gùn léèlá, káfí fáwọn tó jáwé ká tó jáwé, àwọn tí wọ́n wẹ̀gbò ká tó wẹ̀gbò. Káfí fáwọn tó ṣe wípé wọ́n ti ṣáájú wa sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọn ò sọ bótò, káwọn má fi ẹnu lẹ̀, káwọn má fi ẹsẹ̀ lẹ̀ máa fẹnu kọ ládùúní àlọ́. Àṣẹ kórí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ìbà àwọn ìyá àpákàlà kí arógbó aṣọ má balẹ̀ nù. Àwọn atoríjapá, àwọn àtìfúnjẹ̀dọ̀, àtẹ̀dọ̀ jòrò òǹró. Àwọn olókìkí òru ni mò ń ké sí. Àṣìbà ògún lákàyè ọ̀sìn mọ́lẹ̀ olómi léfẹ̀jẹ̀wò láṣọ lè fi mọ̀ kí mọ̀ bóra bí aṣọ. The energy of victory. Àṣìbà èṣù láàrúyè onílé kankan oríta. Ẹlẹ́kùn sunkún láàrúyè ń ṣẹ̀jẹ̀. Ọ̀bẹ̀lẹ́kùn dúkún kẹ́rù ọ̀bẹ̀lẹ́kùn. The energy of equity, the mediator, and the one who lies out our plea and help us to come to equity with plainer. Àṣìbà Ṣàngó lákàyè ọ̀ṣìmọ́lẹ̀. Ṣàngó. Àṣìbà Ṣàngó. Ṣàngó ìṣe lákàyè o. Thank you very much for that correction. Ṣàngó Ọ̀kọ̀yà olójú orógbó ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹ́ obì. Àṣìbà rẹ̀, the energy of justice. Àṣìbà Ọ̀ṣun ṣèyìnṣẹ́ olóyè ayùn. Àṣìbà àwọn alálẹ̀ tí wọ́n ti wá tí wọ́n ti lọ. Kudos to our ancestors, great African ancestors. Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀, MKO Abiola, Thomas Sankara, the Kwame Nkrumah, the Shaka of Zulu, the Imhotep, the Tutankhamun of the great Kemet Empire. Those who came from other aspects of Al-Kabula land. Today, we pour veneration to you as you open a car. Bá a bá sì ṣe bá àwọn òòṣà tó ti lọ àtúmọ̀ ṣe bá àwọn tí wọ́n ń bẹ láyé báyìí. I venerate your Oreo for everyone who is watching me right now. Àwọn ọmọ fi eléyìí sọ pé àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ fún gbogbo ẹni tí bá ń kí bàbá aláwo. Àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́ kí bàtí wa ò ṣẹ́ lónìí o. Ewúrẹ́wọ́ tó wọlé tí ò kágò kò dẹ̀rùn àmúso káwọn ọmọ dẹ̀rùn àmúso. Àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Àbọ̀yè bọ́ ṣiṣẹ́. Please, if you are listening to me right now, please go ahead and take a cup of water. If you don't have a cup of water, you can take a bottle of water. Ní pápápá ẹja ṣe ní kánmọ́nkébé. Ní kánmọ́nkébé. Ní kánmọ́nkébé. If you do have it. If you don't have it, you can take any fruit around you. You can take any fruit around you. I have apple fruit here, filled with so much rich water. You can have any fruit around you. You can treat it with respect also. Àwọn máa wí báyìí pé omi lábù ẹ̀, omi lábù mú. Ẹnìkan èèbó mi ń ṣọ̀tá, ọ̀tá ilé, ọ̀tá òde, ọ̀tá amọ́niṣe ni, àfàìmọ́niṣe ni. Ọ̀tá ṣe ń tán bá ní dárò. Látòní mo jẹ́rìí yín o. Gbogbo ọ̀tá ayé títí ń bẹ lára mi kó mọ bómi lọ. Gbogbo àìlè tí ń bẹ lára mi kó mọ bódò sàn lọ. Bá a bá dá mi sórí abẹ́sẹ̀ wá, òfò àtàdánù kó mọ bẹ́sẹ̀ lọ. Àṣẹ. You can drink the water, or you take a bite of your fruit that is with you. And you can keep the rest and use it quietly. What we have done is we have conditioned the water in this fruit. So listen to us. And what we simply did was to say, it is water we use in quenching thirst. The same water we use in having a clean bath. The energy of water is in its flow. As from today, everything that has been shot at me, every element that is living or residing in my temple, everything that is unwanted within me, as the water flows downward to the feet when it's poured on the head, I wash them away today. And may they flow away from me, far away, and never be able to reach me again. And no one pick a fight with water. Except the person is willing to flow away with water or get drowned in it. Anybody who antagonizes me, if they are drinking water, may water take the wrong turn in their body. And whoever who wishes me well, if they take water or drink it, may water bring calmness to their sanity, bring healing to their ailments, and myself. Àṣẹ kò rí bẹ́ẹ̀. Ojúbà náà lọ. Bá ti ṣe léyìn. You can take a bite of your fruit, your water, and then we start today's teaching. Somebody was asking me that why do I always do my broadcast in the car? I don't know how to respond to this question. But unlike your pastors and your imams, I actually don't sit around the corner expecting tithe and offering. Unlike them also, I don't ask you to pay me before I give you out of the understanding I have, the little understanding I have about nature. So I try to work so that I can eat and put body and spirit together. So times when I know I need to reel out on information, I park by the roadside without fear of nobody. And I'm able to contact you all over the world. Because I don't believe in starting a church. I don't believe in gathering people together to spoon feed them 3 times a week or so. So I strongly believe that the purpose of internet is so that we can connect each other everywhere. So my question to the person who was asking that is that would the message I'm preaching to you change if I don't sit in the car? Maybe if I'm sitting on the water, or I'm sitting in the parlor, or I'm in my bedroom. Would it change? If it doesn't change, just hear what you have to hear and then we move on. Hopefully you'll be able to focus on what I'm teaching on. Because each of us, we have limited time to spend on every episode of life, and we must make the best of it. The night will come when no one will be able to do anything, and the night might not be your old age, it might be tomorrow. So today we talk about how we can maximize silence. Maximize silence. How we can maximize silence. And it is part of our spiritual understanding to understand that silence is one major prerequisite for anyone at all who want to approach or attain their divinity. Silence will bring you to the place of observation, and it will also avail you the what we call grace to make the right decision by time. A lot of us suffer what I call spiritual diarrhea or spiritual dysentery. We pick energies here, we pick there. We worry about many things except ourselves. And the only time we get to worry about ourselves, we worry about how we can be better than others. It mustn't be so. We are so preoccupied. There is a place of occupation. There is another extreme place of preoccupation. Occupation is getting busy. Preoccupation is being busy before the busyness comes. And there's a phrase that we always say to ourselves: mind your own business. So you must have been told this many times. Mind your business. Mind your own business. Mind your own business. A simple thing. When you get too distracted by what other people do or what they don't do, by what other people are attaining or what they are not yet to attain, by what other people are getting or what they are not getting, it is only simple for you to be reminded that mind your own business. So what does that mean? Let's break it into 3 places. Business is something you do with all sense of seriousness. Mind is where all activity first take place. And the simple advice from ancient times, which you have not been able to get, is mind is your own business. Mind, your mind, is the only business you have in this episode of life. Mind, one, your own business. It is your business to cater for your mind. You will see that when you take the business of the mind very seriously, there is hardly enough time for you to poke nose into other people's activities, because everything you will ever be and what you will never be is going on in the space of mind. Where is your mind? Your mind is not here. Your mind is here. And where is your mind located here? Your mind is not in your brain. Your mind is not what you can touch. Your mind is simply the divine platform upon which your energy runs. Are you getting what I'm saying? If you are with me, kindly give me a yes in the comment section. And you can also, like someone would say, smash the like button. Your mind is not your brain. Your mind is not your brain. You can't hold your mind. You cannot substantiate mind. It is an infinite, timeless platform upon which your energy operates. And this is the reason why, in order to keep in touch with the mind, there is a need for silence. Silence is the only gateway to being aware of everything, because there is so much noise in silence. In fact, the noise in silence is way louder than the noise in what you call noise. If you don't believe me, give a 1 minute silence. Give a 1 minute silence. Are you able to keep quiet? Okay, let's practice it. 1 minute silence. You can't even achieve a 1 minute silence. So people lie to ourselves. We lie every time and say we want to be silent. You can be quiet, you can't be silent. Because the moment I say silence, there will be quietness, but no silence. Because in silence, there is no quietness. Meanwhile, in quietness, there seems to be silence. In the state of silence, awareness increases. Silence is a detonation of all your antennas and signal to be able to pick things even very far away from you. And you don't need to keep quiet before you can be silent. You don't need to keep quiet before you can be silent. So I see a lot of you who want to do yoga. But lose weight is supposed to lose weight. There are better ways to do that. If you want to do aerobics, say you want to be aerobic. But do not tell me that yoga helps you to be silent. No. It is virtually impossible for anything or anyone to be silent, because it is a state of reverberation. Reverberation in the highest form of divinity. You are not getting me. I don't think a lot of people are getting what I'm saying. While we try to approach silence as something sacred that will give us entry into the holies of holy, silence brings about so much noise of the things that we are not even aware of before. Silence accords us the entrance into the hall of so much noise. So you can be quiet and not silent. You can be in the midst of crowd and still be quiet and still be silent. You can be talking as I'm talking and be totally silent. No, you now look at silence from a different perspective. Silence is a state of absolute 150% awareness of both this realm and the other realm. Understanding silence and to maximize it. So we've got to try and make it simple for people who are making it hard, who are getting it so hard. When you I have dysentery or diarrhea. What do you do? What is the first thing you do? When you start purging, we call it purging. What is the first thing you do? You stop eating totally. You become quiet. Does that really stop the activity of the dysentery? No. What happens when you stop eating? Now, your internal organ begin to look for other extra rubbish inside of you and begin to break them down, begin to purge them out. So much activity, so much noise. Your tummy become a rumble. Everything, and then you are quiet on eating food. Absolutely quiet on eating food. Yet there is so much noise, so much violence, so much things going on within you. Now, the state of silence within you is a state where the unnecessary fat, the unnecessary calories, the unnecessary this and that, the worms and all that, they are now becoming susceptible to what is called silence. And your body suddenly become aware of the fact that there are junks within you and begin to purge them out. What do you do after that? Then you start to take in noises. You start to take in memories again. You start to put in food in it because you think it is okay. Now, some people needed to get to an extreme point where they have already been clogged up before they purge themselves. While some people, they are constantly mindful of what they take into themselves, living in the state of silence all of the time. Remember what quietness brought to you: violence. Remember what silence will bring to you: health. So quietness, when you stop eating, bring about so much violence within you. Where you go to the toilet over and over and over and over and over again. You lose a lot of water in your body and you have to pay for it. But when you live in a state of silence all of the time, you are the one now mindful of what you put in your tummy. So you may not need quietness to achieve silence. Because silence achieved through quietness always brings about so much loss. And that's the reason why a lot of people, before they now get it right, they must have made some irreversible mistakes. Religious people are quiet people. Spiritual people are silent people. Now, to not go through the violence, spiritual people learn silence by knowing what to eat, what not to eat, when to eat, how much they should take in, what is allergic to their system and not. Religious people take in everything, hoping that on the day of quietness, everything will come out. Are you getting what I'm saying? Silence helps you to be aware and make constant effort and decision regarding what you want to do or what not to do. Like I said, you don't need to be quiet before you can be silent. You can be silent and not be quiet. And somebody said, how can I achieve silence? Silence is not a thing that you achieve. Silence is a thing that you become. Silence is the absence of creativity. I will explain. Silence is the absence of creativity. It takes a whole lot of energy to be creative. A whole lot of energy to be creative. Because you are thinking of this, you are thinking of that, you are thinking of everything and all things together. And if there is no creativity, there is no creator. When there is no creativity, there is no creator. When there is no creator, there is no life. When there is no life, there is no death. When there is no death, there is no episode. When there are no episodes, there is absolute peace into nothing else. And the state of achieving peace in nothingness is a state where you flow with the current of the universe. When you now begin to flow with the current of the universe, you become as wise, as intelligent, as all-knowing and all-seeing as the universe, because in the universe, there is no creativity. What you see, you give meaning to. The universe simply did not have creativity. It is what it is. In the universe, there is no creator. So, the universe is not the creator. The universe is not God. There is no religion. There is no sky god. Absence of all these things. The simplicity of the universe is the lack of quietness. The lack of quietness. Remember what we call quietness. Quietness will bring about violence, reaction. The lack of quietness gives you silence. Silence is knowing what to do and when to do it. There is no quietness in the universe. Are you getting my solution? There's no quietness. Is there any quiet? There's no quietness in the universe. Everything is talking. Everything is vibrating. And because there is so much vibration in the universe, then that is silence is the form of re-vibration in such a way that you are aware and you know everything around you. I think this teaching is too deep this time. Way too deep. I don't know how else to simplify it. Because of lack of quietness in the universe, there is so much awareness and noise. Why? Because in silence, you are aware. The noise is louder in silence. Somebody think that when the night comes and everywhere is quiet, then there is silence. The night time is the most violent time. You think it's normal. You think it's quiet. You think the most highest and most heinous of crime take place in the night time. In the night time. The numbers of people who die in the night way more than those who die during the activity, being aware. But during the day, there is a limit to which someone can perpetrate evil and something bad. Because in the silence of the day, so much is taking place. So much noise. You are aware. You are able to know. You don't put your leg in a ditch hole because you are aware. So in African spirituality, when we say you should achieve silence, We did not say you should achieve muting or quietness. We say you should achieve a state of awareness. The state of awareness is achieved only first when you know who you are. Who are you? Who are you? Remember, we started with mind your own business. Silence can force quietness on you. Quietness cannot force silence on you. So how often do you become silent during the day? How much of this plane you are you aware of? The gifting of dreams that you got, are you maximizing it? Because in the state of sleeping, you, with that gift, are able to achieve so much awareness. The trance and vision you could get, how much of it have you maximized? Now being aware of yourself. So have you been able to maximize them for us to now say, administer them to other people? Silent people rule this world. Because of the fact that there's nothing hidden from them. So they behave like the sun, nothing hidden under the sun. A quiet person might not see what is going on around them. A silent person is in the know of what will happen next, not only what is going on around them. We have the concept of marriage. And somebody wants to practice this silence in their marriage, there will be a problem. Silence as you know of it, there will be a lot of problem. Keeping mute and mute, it's not the same as silence. In some part, they will say you are keeping malice or you are depressed or something. It's not the same as silence. Silence is achieved when you are sensitive to the need of the person you are with. Silence is achieved when you are sensitive to the need of the community you are located. Silence is sensitive to the need of your own health, your own body, the need. Remember, silence is enabling even your inner ear to listen to what is unheard, to enable your eyes to see what is unseen, to fathom what is unfathomable. It is being aware and being sensitive to the need of the people in your life. Silence. So you could look at them in the face and just naturally know something is bothering you. It is different from being quiet. A lot of people are quiet in their relationship, so you keep messing up and you're not talking to each other. Does not mean you are being sensitive to the need of others. So in order to attain the highest level of spirituality, you must quickly know who you are so that you can be aware of your surroundings. Àwọn máa pé o ní tójú ilẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀, àmọ́ ṣé wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ ṣó o mójú ilẹ̀? tá a bá tún pé kọ́ ọmọ báráyé fọwọ́ tì í, ṣó mọ táráyé ń fọwọ́ tì í, ṣó mọwọ́ tí wọ́n fi ń tì í. You don't know. You are just saying àṣẹ, àṣẹ, àṣẹ. You are not silent enough to know. This is what this means. This is what they are referring to. In New Age, people will say it is the ability to read between the line, to read between the line. Are you able to read between the line that love has left your relationship? Are you able to read between the line that the economy of the nation where you reside is about to collapse, so you need to do this and that? The state of being silent is when you know that things don't happen to you, things happen for you because you are not ignorant of the next move. Ọwọ́ a máa yí bí òbìrí, wọ́n ti pò òbìrí láyé, bọ́ bá fi síwájú ọtún fi sẹ́yìn. Do you know when it's going forward? Do you know when it's going backward? Quietness will not avail you that. Silence helps you to know the movement of the universe. When are we going down? So I can prepare a cushion for myself. When are we going up? So I can get a ladder for myself. Now, it is not like life is a linear straight line. Life is not on a straight joystick. Life is not a joyride. Life is filled with ups and downs. But some people don't feel the up, neither do they feel the down. They just exist in the place of silence. Why? Because they know how to maneuver themselves out of the down, and they know how to enjoy the ups. They are constantly being aware in a state of silence. So I try to teach you saying, do not limit silence to quietness. Do not say only in the midnight can I be useful, can I hear from nature. You can hear from the universe on the go. Have you ever been in a club before? And the only voice in your head is what is coming as an inspiration, not the noise that is going around. In my line of work, I drive a lot from one state to the other. And I love to drive alone. Because if I'm quiet, I could sleep. But if I'm silent, I will be active. So I find myself talking to myself a lot and doing divination on the go because I'm aware of my environment and what the signal is in the atmosphere. And as a Babalawo, we look at the omen, we try to communicate with the sun, with the moon and all that. Not to worship them, but to know if this is like this, then this is what happened is also here. It happened also, it happened also. Every time it's like this, it's always like this. The understanding of the sacred secret of nature cannot come to you when you are just quiet. You need to be silent. See, a place of silence is a place where you become a student to be taught by the universe. Religious people are they always pray. We don't pray. We make decree. You don't make decree out of ignorance. You make decree because you are aware of your right, of the authority you carry, or of what is available. It is not a matter of faith. We are not trying to believe. It is a certainty and truth that the sun rises every morning. So with that fact, we state it to the universe. As long as the sun rises each morning, may my glory and my fame rise beyond the horizons. You have stated the fact. They call it incantation. You have made a decree. That is not a prayer. Prayer puts you in the place of unopportune, a place of being less privileged. It puts you at the mercy of another. Prayer puts you at the mercy of another. And the one whose mercy you are will run your life the way you don't like. So you will come back to this one who is running your life to ask for mercy, to ask for forgiveness, and to ask for grace or the ability and all. And you realize that a grace you need permission to take is a grace that finishes on time and needs refilling. And in the course of that, you are being charged over again, offering tithe and all to collect grace, to refill your grace. We don't do that. We don't seek excuse from a sky god to be who you are. We understand how the universe works, and we are 150% gods. You are not getting it. We only attain that level because we are silent. I could teach on and on about silence, and you will get different meaning to it. We are able to attain this because of silence. Just by mastering how to be silent, not quiet, you are able to know your right in the universe, your place in the universe, your purpose in the universe, what authority is available for you in the universe, where to function in the universe, what to function as in the universe, and how to function. And then there won't be a question of grace because you are fully in the known of how the universe runs. And you don't get to be silent while arguing a case out. Prayerful people are not silent people. Silent people are not prayerful people. What am I doing? What am I doing? Somebody say you are keeping quiet. Quietness brings about the total deactivation of all your analytical giftings. When you are quiet, it's like you turn off the radio. It's dead. When you're quiet, it's like you unplug something. It's dying. But when you are silent, you are analyzing. Suddenly in your mind, what you could not see before, you are seeing. And you don't see with your eyes. You see with your mind. You don't hear with ears. You hear with your mind. No solution comes except a man can go here, your mind. The platform upon which your energy runs or perform activities. So the moment you go into the silent mode, you activate your energy in a geometric ratio, and it needs your mind as a platform to work. Then you can see things clearly. But quietness brings about numbness in you. Religious people are quiet so they cannot reason outside the box. When they say go, they go. When they say come, they come. When they say drop, they drop. When they say carry, they carry. They are not able. They don't have sensitivity to what is going on. They are being taught for. Somebody is paid to think for them. So that's another description for being a pastor or a man. A man who is paid to think for others. A man who gets paid to think for others. And I can only think for you. And when I think for you to the best of my knowledge and my limitation. And what I have is not a dynamic human creature. I have a replica of myself. And you can never be appreciated as a copy of another. Nobody appreciates a copy of 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 a copy. So many of you came out from a home where your parents are even not second-hand copy. They are no hand copy at all. They now make you no copy. You live a photo-started life. A photo-started life. A life that is purely based on agberubeso, cram and drop, suck in and dump. And so you think the same way, you walk the same way, you die the same way, you suffer the same ailment, and you are limited the same way. Silence allows you to reach beyond the horizon of those who came before you, because there is a freedom of thought, a freedom of self, a freedom of individuality, a freedom of expression. There is no police in the realm of your mind. Silence. A true Babalawo must have mastered silence. Sometimes he sits with you without his divination tools and he tells you all about you. Not because he's seeing vision, but he's vibrating at the very lowest rate of pulse. And the lower your pulse rate is, the higher your sensitivity becomes. It is said of Oromila that before he started speaking the language of man, he first learned the language of the birds. The language of the birds. After the language of the birds, he learned the language of other animals before he learned the language of the plant, the trees, and then began to speak the language of man. So why is he set apart and known as the father of wisdom? Oromila Baba Agboniregun is not Agboniregun, is Agboniregun, the father of wisdom. The people come to him because he knows the language of the things they don't know. They vibrate on a simple level of communication, while he knows that this bird is saying that when we add this to this, it will work. Wow, how did you hear that? Silence. Sensitivity to nature. This plant, if you add it to this, can cure this and that. How did he know that? Silence. Sensitivity to nature. If you go there so time and that this will happen to you, why? Sensitivity to nature through silence. Babalawo are fantastic beings, not all of them, but true ones. They are fantastic beings because they don't live the life of others. True Babalawo. The luxury of life is not what they relish on. How many Rolls Royce they have written? How many women they have slept with? How much money is in their bank account? How many countries they have traveled? Is not a thing of pride to them. What is the pride of a true Babalawo? How many lives have I touched? How many chasm have I bridged between mankind and other elements of nature? Am I able to help the multitude understand that the birds should not be killed because of this, the plants should not be cut because of this, that the ecosystem should be respected as much as you respect the life of others? A true Babalawo bring you a true wholeness and oneness with the nature around you, helping you to know and understand that you are not more spectacular than other things, that even water can mess your life up as it can help your life better. The pride of Babalawo is in how much knowledge, the sacred secret of the universe that he has helped people to attain and achieve. It is not in when you bring bead on your head and you start looking like one masquerade that came down from Diarrhea. That's not true Babalawo. The test of a true Babalawo is not in how many incantations that they can recite. It's not in how many Odufa that he knows. It's not in how much dread of himself that is on people. A true Babalawo relish in the fact that I have 3,000 people who understand the universe. I can now die willingly. I have 5,000 people who are taking over, knowing that being human is super enough. And they are not looking for miracles. They are not looking for how not to die. They are looking for how to die, but how to die well. Silence. helping them to achieve a state where they can be talking constantly but still sensitive to the need of others. So a true Babalawo, when you sit at their feet, sometimes they answer your question before you query them with folklore, stories, reality, experiences, Ifa verses, and all. So you just see that they are answering. Sensitivity brings about silence. He doesn't need to see you face to face. He understands that we are all a pool of energies, interconnected to one another. And if I can pick your signal and you pick mine, I should be able to detect what is wrong with you. So, maximizing of silence take you from the place of being part of the edge and crowd and put you in the spotlight where you lead others out of darkness. You lead them out of darkness. Why? Because you are seeing the light. So what is the light? The light is the knowledge of nature. What is the knowledge of nature? The understanding of who you are. Or what is the understanding of who you are? Knowing your limitation and what you are capable of. What is that? Being God by taking responsibilities. Maximizing silence. Maximizing silence. So you do not attain silence or practice silence, you become silent. And when you become silent, your reaction and response to situation of life differs from every other person. As a matter of fact, silent people don't react. Silent people respond to situations. They don't react. Reaction. So if I pick this tower and drop it, and you also pick it and drop it, that's a reaction. What I did was action. You now did the action again. It is called reaction. So if I'm angry and I speak wrong words to you, when you react, you speak wrong words to me. You only pick what you get from me and you return it back to me. Silent people don't do that. What silent people do is to respond. And responding comes with a whole lot of empathy, a whole lot of understanding, a whole lot of stepping in your shoe. Why would this person say I'm mad? Did I do something wrong? What did I do to provoke him? All right. You are able to analyze within a nanosecond. Am I to apologize or am I to ignore? But most of us will react. We only listen to respond. We listen to react. We meet people just to react. We hear story to react. We don't to respond. So when they say, you are mad, your mother. A quiet person hears it and returns it back. So it will be a matter of goes. You are mad, your mother. A silent person analyze. What is wrong? Is that person okay? What did I do wrong? So it's about analyzing your fault, their fault. You're right, they are right. Did I offend them? What's going on? In the moment of silence, a lot of analysis is taking place. And you realize that this fully controls your temperament. And sometimes you lose the passion to take revenge. You lose the passion to pay them back in their coin. You lose the passion to bring yourself lower to their level, because you want to maintain your higher self while they are vibrating at their lower spectrum. Silence. Very difficult for a lot of people. Very difficult. So I cite the example of being in traffic. You are in traffic, you are frustrated. The quietness of the movement of it is frustrating. Everybody is honking and all. But if there's a miracle happen and a chopper comes to lift you off the traffic, then suddenly you realize that traffic is peaceful. That crazy traffic jam that is frustrating you is so peaceful. You can even start to become a poet. You can even begin to now get more inspiration. Whole like a traffic, spreading from one end of a bridge to another. So is my wing when I live over the Amoye. Why? There is silence. You have differentiated yourself. There is been a movement from the lower self to your higher self. From your lower self to your higher self. So at that point, you are able to know this is what is causing the traffic. This man should have taken this back. They should throw this away and all that. But in the moment of quietness, so much violence is going on and you want to really react. But when you are lifted up it, you know how to respond. A lot of us, we vibrate at our lower spectrum, reacting all the time. So what you react to, always react back to you. What you respond to is taken care of. Spirituality is so simple. People make it so difficult and create a web of business around it. But if you can learn these things and make use of it for yourself, you realize that no one is more spectacular than you. There's nothing metaphysical about spirituality. The explanation has just been made unnecessarily difficult, so you can keep coming back from it. In your home, how silent are you? How silent? Because when you are sensitive to the needs of your partner, love is not a thing you need to find. It's something that becomes constantly present. In your place of work, how silent are you? Because you need a lot of silence to be able to analyze why there's a bottleneck, why there's an outstanding, where there's a backlog. You are able to know this is what we can do better. And the thing about silence is that it pays you heavily. And it comes to a lot of beautiful recommendation, dedication, and all. Most of the successful spiritual leaders and leaders in the world, they learn the art of being silent. In your finance also, are you silent enough? Or you are just quiet? Or you are just quiet? Learn the difference between these two. So activity does not look like productivity to you. So activity does not become like productivity to you. That's why they call religious people pious people. They are pious. Pious. Just pious, 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 pious. Very violent people. They call them pious. Quiet people, gentle people, and all, but there's issue. There's a lot of issue. So I bring today's teaching to an end on that aspect. Maximizing silence. Maximizing silence. You can come up with your questions now. I'll answer 1 or 2, 3 questions and then we call it a day. Jesse is saying that sometimes it's very difficult to be silent in this chaotic world. The world is chaotic because of how people make it to be. There is no chaotic world. Humankind creates chaos in the world There is no chaotic world. Human beings create chaos in the world. The world is in order. It is the introduction of mankind that introduced chaos into it. We don't used to put much of a big deal in building houses and getting married and all before. Humankind began to attach value to nonsense. So chaos started because human beings became chaotic. And if you decided to rid yourself of every form of chaos, and the person next to you copy, the other one also decided to be in the pursuit of their spirituality. When mind is their own business, then it's easy for us to create a very calm. The countenance of the world we live in is solely determined by the people who live in that world. The disposition of the world we live in is fully determined by people who live in that world. There are some planets, there's no water in them. The air in them is not even enough. But they look so peaceful because humankind are not there. The moment they get there, they mess it up. Somebody's saying, but there are also some glaring situations where, it can be dangerous, threatening, good, etc., without needing to analyze based on repeated historical experiences. You mean when you have to take action very fast, you think you are not analyzing. Analyzing is not when you sit on the table and you begin to gather data all of the time. That's why I said you may not be quiet, but still be silent. If there's a danger here right now, and you see me run away in a nanoseconds or in a jiffy, it's not because I've not analyzed. The speed of my analysis now increases, provided the speed of the danger I'm facing or the situation ahead of me. You will think you can't think so fast in a nanoseconds. The situation presents itself to you slow. Your body and your mind respond to it as the speed comes. If it comes so fast, your mind also responds to it so fast. So don't think because you make a decision in a haste, you have not analyzed. The speed of the situation is directly proportional to the speed of your response to it in your mind. So we need to get that right. We need to get that right. Somebody say, what about people that are frank? Because sometimes your field of work needs that. What do you mean by frank? I know that being frank is being truthful. Huh? So I don't know how you connect this. So at times, even your mind keeps calculating when one is trying to be quiet. How can one focus on quietness? I've told you quietness is not the same as silence. We're talking about silence, we're not talking about quietness. If you don't say a word and your mind is calculating, that is not quietness. That is silence. Do you not get a word of what I'm saying all this while? Some people will keep quiet and their brain will keep quiet. Your mind will keep quiet too. And I said, you don't need to be quiet to be silent. And you don't need to be silent to be quiet. You don't need to. Baba, my question has nothing to do with today's lecture, but I want to quickly ask, does African spirituality accommodate eating pork? There is nothing in African spirituality that forbids eating of pork. Nothing. However, there is something in African spirituality that forbids killing animals unjustly or violently. But there are some things that are allergic to some people's divine self. So we tell them, do it this, do it that. The fact that it's permissible by you does not mean it is expedient for me. Somebody said, people tend to identify with their mind, and the mind is filled with only information from the past, which is chaotic. Now, when you talk about memories, do not confuse it with mind. Mind is a platform upon which your energy runs. When your mind shut down, the energy gives way. Mind is like a field. It's like a field, a magnetic field that hold bound your energy. It is different from your memory that stores information. So don't confuse your brain, your memory with mind. Baba, please, how do we know when the universe, ancestors, or your Orisha is speaking to you in silence, and when your mind is playing games with you, with what is happening around you? This is a very pertinent question. You see, your brain is an arcade. Your brain is an arcade. It is the store up of all your past experiences, current experiences. Sometimes brain is being confused for mind. Your brain does not know what is going to happen in the next 10 years. But the knowing and sensitivity to the universe can avail you that information. However, when the information is dropped in your mind, it is stored in your brain. Your brain is like an adapter. When this information of what will happen in the next 40 years or so drops in your mind, comes to your mind, your energy connects directly with the universe. Your energy can only be held bound for functionality in this space with your mind. Your mind drop information that has been tested, okay, confirmed from the universe directly in your brain. And every part of your body take what you act upon. And aside that, every part of your body have cells. The real memory joystick is the cells in your body, not in that whitish stuff in your skull. So there is a memory here, there's a memory here. There's a memory here, there's a memory here. For example, if you have a certain person who have intercourse with you often and they make you feel good, if you meet another person and they don't make you feel good, it is not your brain that tells them. It is your private organ that have stored the memory they feel, the feeling they had with that person in their memory. So your hand, the way they touch things, what they have touched, they store the memory exclusively here in the hand. It is in olden days that the Western scientists thought that memory is only located in the brain. Every part of your body, yeah. That's the reason why someone who suffers amnesia can lose their memory. And someone who suffers amnesia can also gain back their memory. Sometimes, if the right person cook the right food for them, which they are used to, when they eat the food, even though When the person meets them, they don't know the name of that person. They have forgotten who that person is. When the person now creates the event that they used to together, when their tongue touches the food, the tongue is able to jack up the memory. Oh, you are this. And a little time, they also forget. When the taste of the food go away, so also the memory, the tongue has stopped. Your body works in a very super way. So, knowing when the orishas or the ancestors are speaking to you, there is a knowing in you. There is a knowing in you that this is not what your brain can think of. Many things have been dropped in your mind that you were not taught in schools. The universe will not waste time to teach you what you have been taught. The universe will expose you to higher intelligence than what you already know. So if what you are getting is what you already know, you are the one playing game with yourself. If what you are getting is something you need to now begin to now look at, I didn't say it in this way before. That is the universe. Universe don't go back to teach you what you are. It's a waste of time. The universe is not interested in wasting time. Baba, so it's okay to live in two worlds. The one you live in here and the perfect one you have created in your mind. Can you create a world in your mind? You as a person. Can you create a world in your mind? Yeah, we have the gift of imagination. We have a gift of imagination. There are people who have mental problems. They have mental problems. But there are those who don't have mental problems, but they are very good with imagination. I'm very good with my imaginary world. However, I know it's a waste of time to live in the castle that is built in the air. Who doesn't? An imaginary world is a perfect world. There is no perfect world anywhere. So as a person, you are free to deceive yourself. Maybe a few minutes a day. At least pay yourself back for the stress. Be fool around with yourself. A few minutes a day is okay. Live in that perfect world where there's no chaos, where there's no death, where life is not necessary, where everything you want is. But you realize how boring it is quickly, and you will soon come back to the. So yes, it's possible to live in two worlds about it. The real world here and the one you are created in your mind. Now, when you talk about other realms, I would have said yes, there are other realms from this realm. But you said the one you have created in your mind. Everybody have the right to create the kind of world they want in their mind. Only that, only them will live there. And even they will be so bored living in that world. So they are able to switch back into the world. Tó o bá sì péjú inú wọ́ọ̀dù tó create wọn, ó padà bára rẹ lọ́gbà wèrè ni. Ẹ̀mí ló fi ń ju ṣéènì síyàn lẹ́sẹ̀. Ẹ̀mí ló fi ń ju ṣéènì síyàn. Wọ́n á kọ̀ wá gbá índósìdì fún ẹ àbí kí ló oògùn tó máa ń mú wọn orúnkún yẹn. So if you really want to live in the other world you have created in your mind, there's a space for you in psychiatric hospital. But we are talking about realms. Realms are different from the world we created in our mind. But for the sake of paying yourself back, the dividends of the trouble of each day will say, don't worry, go and live there. But come back on time. Come back more so. Okay. So, if we can maximize silence in our minds, And hypothetically, others don't care, don't. We can tune them in and out at will. If so, how? No, we can't. We can't. You have no right to tune people in and out at will. There is such a place where the information in your mind can be buffered into other people's mind. When you control the way they think, it is not always the best practice. Because as an energy, you can infect another energy. It is not always the best of practice. Such a person that you think of a person today and the person calls you and say, I just thought of you too. Telepathy kind of thing. It is good when we use it to communicate and become sensitive to one another, not to control other people's mind. Hmm? Not to control other people's mind. Baba, can you go into more details about the realms you mentioned? We will talk about realms other time. We'll talk about realms some other time. Okay, I don't think this is for me. So someone is asking that, are we all knowing? Are we all knowing? Can everybody answer the question? Do we know it all? Do we know it all? Are we all knowing? When you talk about knowing with regards to human institution, no, we are not. I don't know anything about soccer. I don't know anything about drawing too. So in that regards, I'm not all knowing. But am I aware of all that I need to know? Yes, I am. The problem of mankind is that sometimes we even want to know what is not necessary, what you intend to know, how useful it is to your present experience, and your own spirituality. There are such people who knows everything they need to know. So we'll say they are all knowing, because there is nothing they need to know they don't know. So when a man does not know all that he needs to know, he is not all knowing. Can a man know all that he needs to know? Yes, he can. Highest is that you will ask what you don't know. And if you are humble enough to ask, you have known. It doesn't matter if you know it yourself or they know it before you, keep asking. That's why you are a seeker. So is there a possibility for us to be all knowing? Yes, there is a possibility for us to know it all. But how curious are you? How curious are you? How seeking are you? How do you use your 24 hours in a day? How do you make the best use of all opportunity coming your way? When you meet those who know more than you, what you talk to them about, is it about mundane things of this life, or you talk to them about what is deeper? So I often say that when you stand or stay with me, I will only tell you what you ask me. But when I see the desire of your heart, I'm able to take you beyond your own horizon. However, I've seen a lot of people who have the advantage of sitting with me, and then all they talk to me about is nonsense. It's about politics, it's about money, it's about property, it's about so. But there are some that will come all the way and say, please sit, talk to me. I want to learn. And in the process of learning, they become elated also. Sometimes probing can bring about knowledge, even for the one you are probing. There is no limitation in the universe to what you can know or what you can't know. Only you determine that. But you become all-knowing as long as you know all that you need to know. Do you know all that you need to know? Do you know all that you need to know yet? Thank you very much. Any other question? Any other question? By the way, I'd like to put out this announcement here, and it will take you a little while to hear this. I'll be right back. All right. So this class is called Water Mastery Class. We've been announcing it for a while now, and it's happening on the 30th of May, 2021. 30th of May this month, 2021. You can just go to babayooba.org/sign up to register for the class. It costs only $170, 170 USD. If you're living abroad, I know most people living abroad outside Africa really appreciate this kind of thing, understanding and learning. You can just use Word Remit for a payment to register into the class, and you use Telegram link to send your receipt and your email address to me so that we can perfect your registration. And the registration will close on the 25th of this month. On the 25th of this month. So that's that about the water mastery class um, registration. People have been asking for us to do it. This is for the element of water. If you identify with water, if you drink water, if you bath with water, if you use water, if you're married to someone who identifies with water, you need to learn this. It is important for all mankind to learn how to relate with water and how to make use of water. And how can you reach me on my Telegram? This is showing below here, the HTTPS /2/t.me/Baba Yooba on Telegram. Um, Someone is asking me, saying that, good day, sir. Please, does African spirituality accommodate Christianity? Since the common goal is attaining spirituality. No, it does not accommodate Christianity. We don't hate Christians, but Christianity is not an African thing. It's not an African thing, and I don't believe anybody who is human should be a Christian. We should go and read the history of Christianity, the church history, the beginning of church history, and all. Then you'll be able to know that no, you can't be a Christian and be an African spiritualist. All right, so for more information on the water mastery class, you can reach out to me on my Telegram channel. We're closing registration on 25th of this month, and after we're done with that, we can go back to another African spirituality masterclass. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see you some other time too. Adara Fumba, Ayawa Kaleo, Uju Oni Tiwa, Aoni Baraye for what you, Aoni Jegun Kenyero, Aoni Wakisa Kenya Show, Awani Benu She Kapitanro. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. All of the information is also showing below, scrolling below, on how you can be a part of our community. Thank you very much. It's going to be a one-day class. Somebody's asking, just one-day class, and we're going to be spending 2-3 hours in a class, and then we'll be free forever. It's just a one-day class, but powerful, awesome one-day class, and you'll really enjoy it. After that, your disposition towards water will be different. How you can speak to water, how you can hear from water, how you can use water to heal others and heal yourself also, how you can administer water as a form of healing tool for others, how you can make divination with water also, if possible. Thank you. And Adara fún Ajuwa ṣe o, a ò ní ṣorí gbé o, wọn ò ní gbé wa gbé báyìí o, a ò ní pàdánù ọmọ o, a ò ní ṣokú ọ̀sán gan o, a ò ní ṣorí gbé o, ó dìgbà.